What do you think of when you hear the name Alice Cooper? Well, I used to play many, many festivals with him on the same ticket back in the day when Alice was just starting to play the circuits. He was always amazing, albeit a little bit scary from the looks of it, so I never approached him to introduce myself. But fast forward a decade or two, and around 1989, 1990, I think, I found myself, while living in LA, called in for a recording session with none other than Mr. Cooper himself. I walked into the studio, and there had to be over a dozen of the top session vocalists that I worked with quite a bit. I was sure going to be in fun company, I'll tell you what. Of course, the album is pretty much done by that point, and as it generally is, and it had such star-studded appearances as, say that 5 times fast, Steve Vai, Nikki Sixx, Joe Satriani, and Ozzy Osbourne, just to name a few. I think Jay Winding was in there. It was massive. Just a great, great album. But as it turned out, Alice was at the end of this recording at the time, and his newest album at the time was Hey Stupid. 13 proposed cuts for the record. CDs had just become available, a marketing recording tool, in 1982, and I don't know if it had gone right to CD or I know it was strictly vinyl. It could have been maybe a couple years later it went to CD. I'm not sure. But anyway, we were called the West Coast Gang, some of the fabulous, talented friends, I'll tell you what. And we all gathered in one big room, mics all around, hanging from the ceiling and whatnot, and we just stood in place like a loosely knit crowd. The contractor for the session came out and gave us kind of a simple verbal diagram of what he and Alice had, the producer, was wanting us to hear on each song, and away we went. We got about halfway through the session. The whole gang took it all. The whole thing took all day long, as a matter of fact, but as quick as we all were. But then Alice called a 45-minute break. Maybe that was to enthuse the production team for the song Snake Bite. We were all kind of milling around with each other when the producer came out and said, well, we're almost through, but Alice just brought in a box of rattlesnakes into the control one for everybody to see. What? So we sat around for 45 minutes while they looked at the rattlesnakes. Don't even ask me why. I have no idea. But anyway, we finished the record in what seemed to be record time, especially doing all 13 tunes. And it was just one of those things that could never happen again, although I really loved doing the session. I ended up finally really meeting him while I was in Little Feat, and we played his club, Cooperstown, out in Phoenix one night, which I hear is no longer there, sadly. It was a really cool place. And, later, way later, on Bob Seger's last tour, his final tour in 2019, I got a chance to chat with him about that session. Turns out he's not so scary after all. He's an avid golfer, just talented guy, and he and his wife Cheryl came to the show, and just a very talented soul with a heart of gold. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So until next time, I'll see you around.